is a country with some of the most stunning natural beauty in Southeast Asia. The locals are also by far the friendliest and most accommodating people that I've met during my entire experience traveling. And there's one important rule the country lives by: cash, cash, cash. While ATMs are everywhere, not even the taxis, tuk-tuks, or 7-Elevens, which are everywhere, will take your credit card. Almost everyone in the country also speaks enough English to get by, but never underestimate the importance of hand gestures and other body language for communication. I would suggest getting around the country by private driver or tuk-tuk, as drivers and pedestrians in the country are careless. They do drive seemingly accident-free, but the rules of the road seem optional. Cars will get in the way of oncoming traffic to make a right turn and expect the opposing traffic to slow down and wait for them. Pedestrians will also randomly walk out from all corners of the road. Motorbikers will weave in and out of rush hour traffic. Now, tuk-tuks, which are sort of like a motorcycle with a carriage attached, are the way to go for in-city travel. And they're a lot cheaper than a taxi and more direct than a red bus. And they're pretty unique to Thailand. You'll be going about a maximum of 60 kilometers an hour. For longer drives, though, hire a private driver to get between bigger cities. The country is overwhelmingly bursting with temples, and it's easy to look at TripAdvisor or photos online to try and convince yourself that seeing them all is a must. However, they very quickly become samey. For the average tourist, visiting Wat Po, Reclining Buddha, or the Grand Palace, Emerald Buddha in Bangkok would be sufficient. Both are very large and budget about an hour and a half for each. Wat A Run, Temple of the Dawn, and Wat Tri Meet, Golden Buddha, weren't overly impressive in person despite being listed as iconic landmarks. Remember to wear long sleeves and pants, as the temples have a very strict dress code. Even in the ludicrous heat and humidity, you will be expected to be respectful. Shoes that can be slipped on and off easily are a must. Never point your feet at Buddha cross-legged. Most temples charge a small entry fee of about 100 baht, or about $4 Canadian. The Chao Phraya dinner cruise was a multi-course dinner on a converted rice barge done up to be a fine dining experience. It's a relaxing evening and a great way to see the skyline after a long day of trekking the hot streets of Bangkok. Ditto for drinks afterwards at the Banyan Tree's Vertigo and Moon Bar. Though skip their dinner as it's insanely expensive, but the views are unparalleled. The city looks gorgeous. One of my favorites that didn't feel like it belonged in Thailand was the Karma Kemet Aromatic Diner. It has a very bizarrely upscale contemporary bohemian meets steampunk feeling. It has some very inventive menu items, including a massive cotton candy dessert. Thai massages are everywhere, but don't count on any sort of certification from the masseuses like in developed nations. I would spend the extra money and visit a traditional massage parlor, instead of one of those on the street or hole-in-the-wall spots. The Ban Sabai Spa has a traditional Thai massage that was culturally engaging, from the decor, tea, and music. Be very cautious about choosing the traditional Thai massage, as even a light or medium massage can be incredibly painful due to the immense pressure. The masseuses contort their bodies all around you and pull, stretch, and press you in all sorts of torturous ways. It wasn't for me. Chinatown is Chinatown no matter where you go and what country you're in, so you may as well skip it and see something truly Thai. It seems like for every temple there is a market as well. There'll be no shortage of stops for picking up some handcrafted souvenirs, fake IDs, and scorpions on sticks. Now, those sketched me out a little bit, but apparently they're safe to eat and they taste like dried out prawns. The Damien Saduak floating market has generally the same content as the Khao San Backpackers Market in Bangkok, but with the experience of being able to float shop to shop on a boat. The experience feels like something out of National Geographic, and the drive will only take about 75 minutes from Bangkok. Now, remember to bargain. Floating around the market should only cost around 400 baht for an hour, but some tourists claim to have been charged 10 times that amount. For merchandise, offer 60% off the asking price and compromise on a minimum of 40% off. The ancient ruins at Ayutthaya over an hour north of Bangkok were stunning, and an ideal opportunity to get some, you guessed it, Indiana Jones points. And pronouncing the temple names, super challenging, so I'm just gonna wing it. Chai Wat Hanaram Temple was large, and it felt like it could have been the movie set for Tomb Raider. At Wat Mahatat, get your photo next to tree roots entangling Buddha's head. At Wat Yai Chaimangkol, they have an army of Buddhas protecting a huge megastructure with a very steep stair climb. All three are worth the drive. Traveling quickly, all three can be done in about 2 hours, but most tourists should allot about 4 hours to thoroughly enjoy the architecture and the history. Due to lack of signage, it might be a good idea to print off some Wikipedia pages for some background info before you go, or get an English-speaking guide. Pattaya was an experience all by itself. The Sanctuary of Truth is a temple made entirely of wood and resting on the ocean side, and it has a completion date of around the year 2050. The detail, the intricacy of the work is amazing. It's a testament to the art, culture, and religion of both the Hindu and Buddhist faiths. Don't miss it at any cost. It's unlike any other temple in the country. And, oh boy, here we go again. The Champongket Udo Masak Monument Viewpoint offers a bird's eye view of Walking Street and the beach. The beach isn't too impressive, but it's a great spot to catch a boat trip. Pattaya Walking Street is not for kids. It's loaded with sex tourism, and just like Las Vegas, there's a lot of promoters jumping out at you. But instead of offering you escort cards, they're asking you to attend something called a ping pong show. They are a bizarre and cultural experience that's hard to say no to just for the sake of saying that you've done it, I guess. In a club similar to a strip joint, grab a seat and watch a woman shoot bananas, razor blades, birds, and whatever else out of their vagina. Lovely. Also, be very clear on the total cost to attend the show. Sometimes it'll be the cost of one drink. But what they don't tell you is that tipping is mandatory and will cost at least another 100 baht. Ladyboys across the country are everywhere. From removing their Adam's apples, getting fake breasts, and even going as far as removing their penises, the most PG experience you can have to fully understand what they're like is to watch the Tiffany's Cabaret show in Pattaya. It's an evening show, no dinner or drinks despite it being called a cabaret, done entirely with ladyboys. You won't believe they're all men. Absolutely not a chance. Chiang Mai is a cheap 1-hour flight north of Bangkok and is a city overloaded with temples. If you didn't get your fix in Bangkok, now's your chance. The best night market in Thailand is the Sunday night market. It's well lit, absolutely huge, and has a vast array of unique merchandise, and is the perfect chance to try some street meat. The two national parks, Doi Inthanon and Doi Suthep, lurk nearby and host countless waterfalls, though Google some photos before making your selection, as many of them feel pretty similar. Skip the summit of Doi Inthanon as there's nothing special to see, not even a viewpoint, save the placard that displays the elevation. Instead, head straight to the Royal Pagodas. There are two giant king and queen temples with phenomenal views of the valley and well-manicured gardens. It will feel as if you stepped onto an alien planet due to the creative architecture choices of these two towers. The Wat Chiratan waterfall is a personal favorite of mine and worth the stop on the way back. Hang Dong's Huang Tong Canyon is between the two parks and is touted as the Grand Canyon of Thailand. It's an old rock quarry that is filled with rainwater over the years, and now cliff jumpers brave the heights and splash into the waters below. But be wary of trying it because there's been injuries and even deaths over the years. It looks impressive, but it's very clearly man-made and it's better as a quick photo or lunch stop. In Doi Suthep, the pooping palace, yes, that's how it's pronounced, is a great place to just go poop. It's the house where the royals would come to visit. Nice gardens, nice house, but nothing remarkable. It's an easy pass. Instead, visit the small poor village market at Doi Pui and climb up to the Hill Tribe Museum where you can view people in traditional costume. And of course, don't forget to check out at least one of the waterfalls around here as well. Elephants are abused to an extreme degree for the sake of tourist entertainment. While the idea is appealing, never ride an elephant, bareback or not. Watch it paint, play soccer, or perform anything that is non-animal-like. Elephants are bound and tortured to an extreme degree to learn these tricks and to break them into submission. Research a humane venue, such as the Elephant Nature Park, which rescues elephants from trainers and poachers. Feed them watermelon, watch them play, and laugh as you see them goof around in the river and bathe themselves in mud. The park is also host to over 400 dogs which were rescued during the Bangkok floods. For a less PETA-friendly experience, the Chiang Mai Night Safari, which is essentially a zoo, is a half-hour tuk-tuk ride from the city center. And don't forget to pay your driver to wait for you during your visit, as the rides back to town can be pretty hard to find. Pay about 800 baht round trip. The zoo is a huge commercial attraction with tigers, lions, pumas, cougars, zebras, and more. But it's not really different than any other zoo. Chiang Rai is an area northeast of Chiang Mai. While there are a number of other options for tours, we managed to choose the two most lackluster experiences, the Hot Springs and Golden Triangle tour. The hot springs are man-made fountains supplied by hot spring water, where tourists are then sold eggs to submerge them in the water to cook them. Yay! The Golden Triangle is simply an area of land where two merging rivers border Laos, Thailand, and Myanmar. You'll be carted off to yet another handicraft market in Laos during your boat ride, and float past an island referred to as the Black Market, but there's really nothing special to see. The two major attractions in Chiang Rai are the White Temple, Wat Rang Khan, which is an artistic masterpiece of white paint, sculptures, and mirrors, and also the Karen Longneck Village. The women in the Karen Longneck villages wear brass rings around their necks. It doesn't elongate their necks, but pushes their rib cage down and gives it that illusion. The actual reason for the rings is up for debate. Some say it was to prevent tiger bites, for good luck, to stay evil spirits, or to attract mates. But honestly, the most common reason these days is just for tourism. While the brass rings lost appeal previously with younger generations, they're making a massive comeback as a way to lure in tourist money. Either way, this is your second stop for a National Geographic style photo. While not expected, it is polite to tip if you take a photo with one of them, especially if you don't buy from their shop. While I didn't spend a ton of time in Phuket, I did take a 2-hour taxi ride out to Krabi simply for the sake of hopping over to Railay Beach. This beach can only be accessed by boat, and prices are about 100 baht each way on a schedule or 700 baht each way on demand. The ride is a mere 15 minutes, and prepare to get a little wet. Watching the sunset while you sit at a restaurant on the beach side is incredibly romantic, and no one should leave the country without doing that. The most postcard-worthy experiences in Phuket are visiting Monkey Cave, and then boating out to James Bond Island. Spend a few hours exploring the Pan Yi Floating Village Market. Again, it's market. If you have more time, boat out to the Full Moon Party or spend a day trip to the gorgeous Phi Phi Islands. Overall, I feel like I really checked off all the truly important attractions in the country, with the exception of one or two. There are more mountaintop ruins north of Bangkok, and also a stunning temple and a cave on the coast of the south. Having unbucket listed most of the country, I would absolutely go back, which is something I very seldom say, simply for the people and for the lifestyle.